Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Master Your Migration Journey from Atlassian Server to Data Center or Cloud, where we will try to answer your all questions related to Atlassian migration. I am Swapnil Kosare, Marketing Manager at Addteq. I will be your host and moderator for today's webinar. Before moving ahead, I would like to highlight few things. Participants other than speakers will be muted during the webinar. You can ask questions in Q&A tab or the chat throughout the webinar, and we will try to cover all of them at the end of the webinar. We have a free migration assessment where Addteq's Atlassian solution expert will help you find what's used best to your business, data center or cloud, and help you plan your migration. Also, please stick around till the end of the webinar and fill in the feedback form at the end of the webinar to avail a free migration assessment. We will also share cool handouts, ebooks, webinar recording on your registered email ID. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our eminent speaker. First, we have Himanshu Chatterjee, who is Enterprise Architect Solution at Addteq. He has 10 plus. Hi, Himanshu. He has 10 plus years of experience in DevOps and Agile tools. He is your go-to guy to solve all your complex technical problems from Atlassian implementation, migration to DevOps and DevSecOps. Second, we have Ms. Dipti from Atlassian, who is Technical Account Manager at Atlassian for APAC region. She has more than 9 years experience in Atlassian ecosystem and can help you with all complex questions related to migration. Thank you, Dipti, for joining us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Then we have Mr. Robert Horan, who is a Service Delivery Manager at Addteq. He has 17 years of experience in IT industries and 12 plus years of experience in Atlassian ecosystem. He has helped many customers for smooth Atlassian migration. Thank you, Robert, for joining us.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Now, I would like to do a very brief introduction about Addteq and who we are. So before moving ahead, the agenda for today is what suits you, data center or cloud. Then we'll discuss on challenges while migrating to cloud and data center and how to plan your apps or Atlassian plugins while you migrate. About Addteq, our expertise lies in operational delivery excellence by leveraging tools for orchestration, automation, and delivery management, be it for agile, traditional, or multi-skilled IT enterprise. We have 15 years of experience, global experience in DevOps and ALM with headquarters in USA. Addteq is one of the top Atlassian Platinum partners. Addteq is also select tier partner with AWS, and we are the Atlassian certified top vendor for Atlassian Marketplace. We have 8 plus Atlassian verified plugins on Atlassian Marketplace. Next, please. Our expertise lies in DevOps consulting, Atlassian software implementation, system integration, data migration, CI/CD, Atlassian custom add-on development, SaaS hosting, training, Atlassian software reseller, and ITSM. And here are some of our partners: Atlassian, GitLab, AWS, JFrog, Sumo Logic, and Tricentis. If we talk about customers, we have many clients across globe, US, Europe, Southeast Asia, and here are few of the esteemed clients. And here are some of the products we take pride in. Excellent Table, which is a spreadsheet for Confluence. So if you want a spreadsheet functionality in a Confluence itself, so you can use the Excellent Table. Then we have Unstoppable, which makes your Atlassian tool compliant for visually impaired, and Code Factory, that is a managed hosting for your development tools. Coming back to our topics, as you all are aware, Atlassian will stop supporting Atlassian Server in coming 2 to 3 years in step-by-step manner. So naturally, the question arises: what to choose now between Atlassian Cloud and data center? Which one makes sense to your business, as every company has a different needs and thus need to evaluate best option for them. Now I would like to invite Ms. Dipti to discuss when to choose what, cloud versus data center, and key challenges while migrating and how to solve them. Over to you, Dipti.
Thank you. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
There. You're able to view the screen, right? Okay, so thank you, Swapnil. Thank you for the introduction and the.
Dipti, can you present the screen? I guess, yeah.
Oh,
It's not in the present mode, yeah.
Is it not?
Yes.
I
think we can see the speaker notes instead of the
Yes.
main slides.
Oh, sorry. I think I presented the wrong one. So sorry. Okay, so is that better?
Yes, yes.
So is that okay? Now
Yes,
you can see the full
yes.
presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, and sorry for that. Thanks everyone, and great to be with you today. My name is Deepthi, and I'm a technical account manager here at Atlassian, based in Bangalore, India. Today, as Swapnil introduced, we're going to explore key differences between Atlassian Cloud and data center offerings to help you find the right fit for you. While I'm not going to deep dive into the feature differences between these products, but we'll share some details on where to find them, and happy to answer any questions that you might have in the Q&A. So we have been on the enterprise journey for many years now, starting with server, then data center, and now to cloud. Regardless of the deployment option, Atlassian's core mission is to unleash the potential of every team. And we fundamentally believe that it's about team and team's work. That's what differentiates and moves businesses forward. We are focusing our time and energy to empower teams of all types and sizes to be more successful. Our journey to unleash the potential of every team began primarily by meeting the needs of individual teams and even individual team members. These teams grew and used our tools expanded within organizations. We quickly found ourselves serving teams of all shapes and sizes, all the way up to some of the largest enterprise organizations in the world. Atlassian has supported enterprise organizations for a long time now. Even 83% of the Fortune 500 use Atlassian products. Over time, we have shifted from building for individual teams to building for multiple teams, and even building for entire organizations so that all teams can be successful. Today, enterprise organizations rely on Atlassian to provide mission-critical services. But before we go in and discuss what is the right option for you, let's have a quick look at what these offerings are separately. As you might already be aware of, just a quick introduction about data center. Data center is Atlassian's purpose-built enterprise offering for self-managed environments. Data center offerings are available for Jira Software, Jira Service Management, Confluence, Bitbucket, Crowd, and Bamboo. More likely than not, you choose data center because you need to maintain ownership and control over your environment. One of data center's unique value propositions is that it provides you the ability to remain on-premise or deploy virtually, taking advantage of the benefits of cloud via infrastructure as a service, while still remaining behind your firewall and being self-managed. We currently see over 40% of our data center customers deploying in the cloud. But why leverage IaaS and host it in the cloud? In a couple of words, maximum performance with minimal overhead. You're able to reap the benefits of the cloud while maintaining a self-managed environments, leveraging features that are built by the cloud provider and data center. Infrastructure as a service lets your organization scale its infrastructure needs to demand. This is beneficial as many organizations don't want a fixed infrastructure and need to evolve their infrastructure to respond to evolving needs. IaaS gives software development teams more autonomy and to requisition resources as needed without depending on the system's administrator to manually do it, which is lowering your headcount cost and helps to develop lean DevOps teams. Just as a reminder, your current server instance is architected with a single node like this, the one that you can see on the screen, while data center provides a clustered architecture like this. The architecture is what enables certain capabilities such as high availability and increased performance. Say you're interested in data center, but worried that you don't have the time or resources to build out a clustered architecture right away, or you don't need it because high availability won't be an issue for you, which is also not a problem because you can always deploy now and cluster later if you want. Clustering is now an optional feature of data center rather than a requirement as part of a license upgrade. Customers without the need for high availability can access all new data center features we have launched without having to deploy a clustered architecture and take on the expense and overhead of setting up additional infrastructure components like multiple nodes, a load balancer, and shared file system. This means you can run data center with the exact same architecture you're currently using in the server. Simply drop in your new license key and upgrade in 2 minutes or less. Now let's move on and take a quick look at Atlassian Cloud. It's no secret that Atlassian's promise is to deliver best experience through our cloud offerings. Most of our customers see a path to Atlassian Cloud as a long-term plan for a number of reasons. One, SaaS technology eliminates the needs for upgrades, maintenance, and other hidden ownership costs, freeing up administrative time and resources. Two, Atlassian Cloud comes with enterprise-grade security and data protection right out of the box. And three, with cloud, you unlock lion's share of Atlassian's investment in innovation. Atlassian's platform leverages data from across our products to connect tools, unify teams, and enable information to flow easily across organizations for smarter collaboration. We're not alone in our belief that cloud is how we deliver innovation to organizations. According to Gartner, 80% of enterprise workloads will shift to cloud by 2025, with more teams adopting modern frameworks and expecting a more seamless experience. But don't just take our word for it. We have surveyed around 300 Atlassian Server customers who migrated to cloud and asked them why they migrated. They answered and said they hope to eliminate the costs and of hosting and hardware, to eliminate manual upgrades, and to improve performance. And when asked about what are the top benefits of moving to cloud, the top responses were: one, peace of mind around maintaining security and version upgrades. Two is improved speed and accessibility. And the third one is improved employee satisfaction and performance. What's more, an overwhelming 90% said they recommend moving to Atlassian Cloud, and 89% said they started to appreciate the benefits of migrating in just under 6 months. So to sum it all up, cloud is our Atlassian managed offering for enterprise customers. In fact, over 90% of our customers now start with Atlassian Cloud products, with more server customers making the switch every day. The majority of our customers can now move to cloud, and we are continuing to knock down remaining blockers on our roadmap. We have been heavily investing in building out our cloud capabilities to support enterprise organizations. Atlassian does the heavy lifting for you with built-in platform security and compliance, faster setup and no maintenance required with financially backed SLAs. Cloud comes with the benefit of continuous innovation, so your end users will have the latest and greatest experience. Now, we are investing further in cloud to increase scale, meet additional complex requirements like HIPAA and FedRAMP, and help admins manage their instances in a more seamless manner. Data Center is still our self-managed offering for enterprise customers. It's all about managing your environment and deploying where you want. You have control over data management, security and compliance, and when you upgrade to the latest features. Data Center comes with capabilities to help you improve performance and uptime so you can have complete control over your instance. But how do you decide which one is the right fit for you? When do you consider Atlassian Cloud? Cloud products are best fit for most organizations. You have to choose cloud when you want to eliminate manual upgrades and software maintenance, reducing your total cost of ownership, freeing up admin workload, benefit from real-time security updates, and team of Atlassian experts working round the clock to keep your data secure. Enable globally distributed teamwork and products that can be accessed securely from any browser and mobile apps and don't require VPN. Accelerate digital transformation and enable business agility with continuous functionality improvements. Or when to consider data center. Cloud will be ready for majority of our customers by 2023. However, if you have a business requirement that prevents you from moving to cloud and is not planned to be delivered on our cloud roadmap before then, we recommend you moving to data center. Data center will continue to be performant and reliable offering to support your growth with Atlassian. So choose data center if your product must comply with a regulatory standard that is not on our cloud roadmap, or if your product data is mandated to remain in a self-managed environment. Atlassian is committed to investing in cloud and to building even more innovative, connected experiences for teams and admins. We want to give all customers a way to understand how we are investing in cloud and the progress we are making around requirements their teams have on cloud, like specific compliance requirements. That's why we published the cloud roadmap, so you can understand what's coming and can plan to move to cloud accordingly. So the links that you see on the screen, you can use them to see what is upcoming and what are the features that that are going to be shipped in the future for both cloud and data center. At this point, you may be wondering like how cloud compares with data center. With data center, you can build and run your products to meet whatever security or compliance requirements you have and added more capabilities to make managing your products easier. We will continue to invest in these admin capabilities because that's what our customers have asked for to support their needs in a self-managed environment. That does mean, however, the data center won't be getting the innovative features we're building in cloud today. So while your administrative needs are met in both, you gain more time to focus on innovation and reduce administrative overhead with cloud because we have taken over the administrative tasks for you. And if you want to perform an in-depth analysis on what's right for you and on more of a feature level details, head over to the page mentioned above, which will explain you both feature and functional differences between Atlassian Cloud and Data Center. Now, at Atlassian, we are committed to helping our customers to get to cloud. We've developed free tooling, tons of resources, and dedicated support teams to help customers along your migration journey. We typically find that the degree to which you will need to engage with these various assets depends on the complexity of your migration, which can be impacted by factors like user count, the number of apps that you have in your instances, customizations, and products you're looking to migrate. While most teams can manage the migration on their own, customers migrating over 1,000 users need to contact us directly or additional guidance and support, and also reach out to your solution partners to help you with the migration and schedule your migration with our team directly. The most important tools at your disposal are the free cloud migration tool and our cloud migration assistance for Jira and Confluence. Activate and download these tools now as your first step to make your migration journey seamless. In addition to that, here's a glimpse of the resources and support that is available that will make your journey smooth, effective, and efficient. Thank you again so much for your time today. We hope that you're excited about your move to cloud. And with this, I hand it back to Swapnil.
Thank you, Dipti, for giving valuable insight on data center versus cloud. And I guess it will definitely help our audience. Now it's time for poll question 1, and we will have around 30 seconds for poll question. Meanwhile, please, okay, the poll question is, what challenges do you face while migrating to Atlassian Cloud or data center? Migration strategy planning, technical expertise, budget constraint, security and compliance concern, and migration complexity. Meanwhile, please ask question in Q&A tab, which is at the right side corner. We are happy to answer your questions. So we have our results, and there is a winner over here, that is a migration complexity that 50% of people are saying, and then there is a migration strategy planning, which is the second most, and the third most response we have got is a security and compliance concern. Moving ahead, I would like to invite Mr. Himanshu to throw light on what are the common challenges and how to tackle those while migrating to data center, and how Addteq can help you for the same.
Right.
Over to you,
Thank you,
Himanshu.
Swapnil. Yeah, thank you, Swapnil, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Like Swapnil said, my name is Himanshu Chetri, and I am an enterprise architect at Addteq. I have worked with customers of all sizes, including large enterprises, to help them in their journey to data center and other Atlassian tool implementations. Next, please. So in terms of in the Addteq's expertise, we have an expertise in a wide variety of areas as it pertains to migrations. We've helped customers migrate to Atlassian Cloud as well as data center. We've also helped customers migrate between different environments. Like if you are running Atlassian and other DevOps tools in your on-premise infrastructure, and if you're looking to move to cloud environments like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, we've also helped customers in those types of migrations. And our approach to all kinds of migrations is that we've tried to follow a structured framework where we initially do an assessment. And as you might have heard earlier, one of our offers for this webinar is that we are also offering a free assessment session to help you evaluate the current environments, identify the goals for your end state, and helping you get there. And once we do the assessment, we also work with our customers to build out a migration plan. And we also like to usually structure it in the form of light 1 week or 2 week sprints. So we are using a more agile methodology when it comes to the planning aspect of things. And then we work with the customers to help them prepare for the migration. Once we are ready to start the migration in a test environment, we also help our customers build out some standard test cases. We share some of the test cases that we've used for our past migrations that can save a lot of time and effort. And then we eventually help do the production migration and provide ongoing support if required. Next, please. So earlier, I think Dipti touched upon some great points, both in terms of giving us a background in Atlassian Cloud and data center, and Dipti also highlighted how Atlassian has made it really easy to transition to data center because you don't need to change the infrastructure to begin with. You can just simply apply the data center license, and your server instance becomes a data center. But in order to get the full benefits of data center, you will need to have that multi-node architecture where you have this global load balancer that is directing traffic to multiple application nodes. And then ideally your database for your Atlassian data center instance should also have HA or high availability architecture. And then you need a shared file system, you need robust backups and monitoring. So all of these sometimes for a lot of organizations can turn out to be an initial technical expertise issue, or they may have the technical expertise, but then their internal resources are focusing on the core business use cases. They may not be available to assist with this initial migration and transition to the full-fledged data center architecture. And again, Atlassian themselves have done a great job. There's excellent documentation on setting up data center. If you're trying to deploy a data center to AWS or Azure, Atlassian even provides those templates that can let you spin up the environment very quickly. But when we work with a lot of our enterprise customers, they also need to sometimes do some further customizations in terms of how the environment should look like in the end state. So in order to assist our customers with all of these, based on our extensive experience assisting a lot of different customers in a lot of different environments, we can really be a good partner in terms of helping our customers get over this issue of technical expertise or bandwidth. The other is that a lot of our customers, they are concerned about what kind of downtime will you have when you do this migration, because as we discussed so far, data center itself has different multiple moving parts, and then a lot of the times Atlassian tools are also powerful because they are not used in isolation. They are also connected to your other critical tools. So your help desk or service management tool might be connected to your Jira data center instance. Your dev tools, your version control and CI/CD tools also might have some critical integrations. And not only can you not afford a downtime, extensive downtime for the Atlassian tool themselves, but also you want to minimize the impact on these other tools that are integrated. And our approach to migration is to automate the process as much as possible. We want to make it as close as possible to a push button, upgrade or migration. And that can really help minimize the downtime, along with some of the other best practices that we implement. And the other is that some organizations also have custom integrations. So majority of the organizations, they use Atlassian Marketplace apps, and these integrations have data center compatibility, at least a lot of the major ones that are actively updated and supported. But sometimes some organizations have also decided to write custom apps, which is, again, a very powerful feature of the Atlassian ecosystem. And it allows the next level of customization and extensibility. But when you're going from, let's say, a server environment to a data center environment, you might have concerns as to how do we make this custom app or integration compatible with the data center environment. Or you may want an expert to look at the code, do a code review to provide suggestions on what to change. And that's an area that we have extensive experience with as well. We've helped customers with dozens of custom apps across all kinds of environments, and now increasing in data center environments. And that's something we can assist with as well. And also the fact that we are Atlassian Marketplace vendor gives us that expertise overall. Next. And like I mentioned, right, so Addteq has done tons of data center implementation and migrations. In fact, one of the growing trends we are also seeing is majority of our customers who are going with data center are choosing to deploy on AWS. When data center was a bit new a couple of years ago, a lot of customers who were going with data center were mostly deploying on-premise or on their own self-managed infrastructure. But now we are seeing this very explosive trend of either migrating those data center instances to AWS or going from an on-prem server instance to a data center instance or running on AWS. And that's something we have extensive experience with. We take a lot of the customizations and automations provided by Atlassian and build on top of that in order to have this downtime minimized migration process that we aim to make fairly push button. Next, please. We also have worked with some subset of customers that may benefit from not having to host the Atlassian tools or DevOps tools themselves. And ideally, they would go with Atlassian Cloud. It's a best fit for a lot of organizations. But as we heard from Diti earlier, there's still some edge cases where organizations, for the time being, may need to stay on data center. And the ROI and total cost of ownership of managing it themselves is not very attractive. So what we offer is a managed hosting service called Code Factory, where we deploy Atlassian data center tools on AWS. We can also support a lot of the popular non-Atlassian DevOps tools and deploy those together in the AWS environment, and provide the same degree of flexibility as deploying yourself, with way better ROI and TCO because of the full range of support that we offer. And also, again, this is probably a smaller subset, but there are some customers who may say that, yes, I would still like to deploy and manage these tools myself on a cloud hosting environment like AWS or maybe even on-prem. And for those customers as well, we can assist them with something we call a Code Factory Enterprise. And this is the automation that we built for the managed hosting version of Code Factory, but we package it in a way that customers can use this set of automation in infrastructure that they control themselves on AWS or on-prem, and deploy these tools with the same level of automation. So we think that we cover pretty much all of the major use cases of how you want to migrate or deploy the Atlassian tools, and providing this complete application life cycle management solution. Next, please. And I have like a lot of examples, but again, for the sake of time, I want to just focus on a few key highlights. One is, like I said, there's this explosive growth of customers deploying data center on AWS, and we have done dozens of these projects already. That's probably one of our most frequent way of assisting customers with their data center deployments. We've also worked with possibly some of the largest data center instances. And a few years ago, we worked with one of the largest banks, global banks, and they had server versions of Jira and Bitbucket with 30,000 users, which is a very high user tier. And we were able to successfully migrate them to the data center version. They also had a ton of custom apps and integrations. And we also built some custom apps as well as some custom microservices in order to have this robust customization and integrations in place when we helped them migrate from server to data center. Just one of many examples of how we've helped customers with these kinds of deployments and migrations. Next, please. Just to summarize again, we have the expertise. We've done dozens of these in terms of helping customers migrate to Atlassian Cloud, Atlassian Data Center, as well as a more hybrid setting. Because especially with large enterprise, maybe it's a transitionary phase, or due to some other reason, maybe due to security or compliance reasons, they may have certain Atlassian or non-Atlassian tools on the cloud or SaaS environment, others on-prem or in their own cloud environments in AWS or Azure. So they really have to deal with this hybrid setting. And we have experience also helping customers architect the overall approach in terms of how you can deploy these tools in this hybrid setting, how to integrate them together, how to help them, how to recommend best practices for the day-to-day use cases, as well as marketplace apps, or even developing custom integrations. So we think we can provide this complete set of holistic solution around the Atlassian ecosystem for our customers. And we hope to work with you in your journey and migration journey as well. All right, so I guess we have another poll question, right, Swapnil?
Yes. Thank you, Himanshu. That was really useful, and I guess that helped a lot to get more clarity on data center options and how Addteq can help you. So it's a time for poll question 2. So what is your level of comfort for migration from Atlassian Server? Not much information, somewhat familiar, only need a framework, and expert level of understanding. So we'll have 20 seconds for poll question. Also in between, please ask questions in Q&A. We love to hear from you, and we will try to cover as many as possible. And if we are not able to cover, we will get back to you offline as well. Also, you can avail a free migration assessment offer, where our Atlassian solution expert will help you navigate all complexity of migration. So we have the answer to the poll questions, and we have a 40%. They only know the framework. They only need a framework, so that's basic planning. And then the 40% people are saying that they are somewhat familiar. And 20% people are saying that they don't have much information. So we are glad to help you if you want more details. Now we have a most common challenge while migrating from server. How to plan your plugin or custom plugin migration. As we are very used to Atlassian apps plugin, as many of us love them as they make our life easier. Now the question is, how can I manage my plugins while migration? Now I would like to invite Mr. Robert to answer the same. Over to you, Rob.
Hi, my name is Rob Horan. I'm a service delivery manager here at Addteq. I've been involved in multiple migrations for multiple customers, and I've seen many challenges and helped our customers through all of them. Next slide, please. So there are a lot of different areas that may be complex during a migration to the cloud. For example, you might be thinking about what you're going to migrate, how much data you're going to migrate, all of it, possibly leaving some behind. What methods you're going to use, say the migration assistant tool or a site import, and all. There are definitely different areas of complexity, but getting a thorough assessment of your current tool environment really might be the most important step during your planning of your migration. And so you'll need to review your self-hosted instances for two reasons. And one is to create an inventory of your Atlassian products, projects, spaces, users, apps, and customizations, and really determine what you're going to move to the cloud and what, if anything, will be left behind. Having said that, though, again, the most important part of all of this is a thorough assessment of your apps and customizations. And why is that? Well, because unlike application data, your apps and your app data aren't going to be automatically migrated when you move to server to, from server to cloud, and your customizations will very likely need to be recreated once you go over to the cloud environment. And certainly this is not limited to just third-party apps, as Atlassian apps like team calendars and questions for Confluence will also require additional effort during the migration process to ensure that their data is migrated. And some apps do offer tools to export data from self-hosted instances and import to the cloud, but you can't take that for granted. You're definitely going to need to verify this with each app's vendor and the documentation to confirm whether or not this is possible. Now, having said that, it is important to note that there are definitely other factors that can impact the complexity of your migration, and that's such as the size of the data that you're going to migrate, and certainly the greater the volume, the greater the complexity. The number of products that you're going to migrate, because the more products you have to migrate, the more complex your migration is definitely going to be. Whether or not you want to consolidate multiple sites into one cloud site. This would definitely increase complexity if you're going from many to one, because data, apps, and users would all need to be reconciled. A big part of this also is user management. And again, how would users log in? Will you need single sign-on or multi-factor authentication? And just to keep in mind, if you have single sign-on as a requirement, you need to start looking at Atlassian Access as well. One big gotcha here, note that all cloud users need to be associated with a unique email address. So if 2 or more users share the same address in your current self-hosted environment, this will need to be rectified prior to the migration. All right, next slide, please. Now, the easiest way to perform an app assessment is to use the cloud migration assistance that Atlassian provides. These assistant tools are free plugins that are built and maintained by Atlassian and that help you easily move Jira and Confluence contact from your self-hosted environment to the cloud. And so they're free and easy to install and use. And once you've installed them, you can use them to perform assessments, choose what you want to move to the cloud, and start migrating at your convenience, monitoring progress throughout the entire migration process. Now, as you can see in this slide, you can use this app to take an inventory of your on-premise apps within the assessment screen. And then you can use this information to develop a cloud app strategy by evaluating cloud app availability, feature parity, and migration paths. So taking a look at the screen, you can see that you can assign a status to each app once you've made a decision on how you want to proceed. And there are 4 statuses that can be assigned to an app. So you can say that no decision has been made, whether or not it's needed in the cloud or not needed, or that you're going to use an alternative. Now you can, once you've made a status choice, you can make a change to this choice at any time if you change your mind. You can also use this screen to see if a cloud version of your app exists and get more information about the differences between your self-hosted versions and the cloud versions, if that's available. There's another column called Can Be Migrated, and this is a fantastic column because this will show you whether or not there's a current migration pathway supplied by the marketplace partner for this app. And in there, you'll see yes, no, or not sure. And if you get a no or not sure, it's always good to check with the vendor or check their documentation to see if that's been updated yet. You'll also be able to enter your own notes into the screen as well. Why? Because when you're done, you'll be able to export a CSV report of your app assessment that you'll be able to share with your migration team. Now, it's good to note that currently these migration assistants are only available for Jira and Confluence currently. And for Jira, the Jira Service Management is not supported for migration yet, but is going to be very soon. There's also a tool in development for Bitbucket with an expected release in Q3 of 2021. Next slide, please. Now, creating an inventory, assessing your apps and data, deciding what to keep and purge, or creating a plan, not to mention actually performing a migration, these are all very complex and time-consuming tasks for any organization to take on. So with over 13 years of experience serving as a, really over 15 now, serving as a diverse group of organizations, serving a diverse organization, excuse me, Addteq has really performed multiple migrations, spanning really all organizations of all sizes, and we've seen all problems. We've successfully migrated over 500,000 Atlassian and DevOps users across on-premise and cloud environments. And so in order to help you out, Addteq will provide you with a free migration readiness assessment to determine your current setup and specialized situations. And this will include license and app assessment, migration steps, major blockers, and so much more. This assessment will help you answer which hosting option is better for you, cloud or data center. And if you want to look at cloud, which service tier should you choose? Would you like to go with standard, premium, or enterprise? If data center, the assessment will help you determine whether or not you're going to use multi-nodes or single nodes. We'll also help you with app assessments, whether or not there's a migration path available to cloud or data center, and what alternatives you might be able to use. We'll answer how you can maintain GDPR and other forms of compliance, and whether or not you should stick with your server instance a little longer until more options become available. But in short, we are here to help you assess, plan, prep, test, and migrate your new site. And after the migration, we'll be there to help when you need support. Just let us know what you need and how we can best support you on your migration path. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. I guess it will definitely help to answer our audience questions. Now is poll question time. Yeah, poll time, and yes. So would you like a free migration assessment session with Atlassian expert, with Addteq Atlassian expert? Also, please fill the feedback form, and you can always contact us at addteq.com. Now it's time for Q&A. So we'll be having a poll question shortly, yes, so let's go to the poll. Sorry, let's go to the Q&A session. I see there are questions coming over here. So one of the question we have got is cloud and data center are HIPAA compliant. So Dipti, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, absolutely. So HIPAA compliance is in the roadmap, so it's not there currently, but it's planned for 2022 Q3, I think it is. But yeah, it is upcoming. It's HIPAA compliant. Okay. Yes.
So HIPAA compliant is coming for cloud, you are saying?
Yeah, it's planned for Q1, Q2 2022. So that's so it will be there by that time.
Okay. The next question we have over here is cloud available for big enterprises?
Yes, absolutely. It is available for enterprises. We do have cloud enterprise plan as well, where supporting bigger enterprises, more than 20K users, where you can have multiple instances and have the benefits of having a pay for a user at one time rather than with multiple instances. But yeah, we do have enterprise cloud version, which is supported for enterprises.
Then we have one more question. During migration, how to handle attachment for all projects? So Himanshu, would you like to answer? Himanshu, Rob?
I think it's Rob, this sounds more like a cloud question to me. Do you want to answer?
Sure. I mean, no matter what method you choose to migrate to the cloud, your attachments are certainly going to carry over. If you're using the cloud migration assistant, that's going to take care of everything for you. If you're doing something like a site import, the attachments are going to be part of the overall package that you create to import to the cloud environment. But yes, the short answer is attachments will always be migrated during the migration process to the cloud. And in terms of the data center environment, Himanshu, as you said, it's a matter of just changing the license, and then data center will be enabled if you're doing it on the same instance. And of course, if you're going to another,
Yeah,
you would just import to the other instance.
exactly. Yeah, and Atlassian has documentation if you're going low level in terms of the file system. I mean, technically, if you just copy the data directories mentioned in the Atlassian documentation, if you are moving an instance between like two different servers or two different infrastructure, then the attachments and all the other necessary file system data will get migrated. So there's some pretty well-defined steps, I think, even for data center.
Yeah, I think the short answer is there's no worry about attachments being migrated over.
Yeah. And I see another question, Rob.
Yes.
It says how attachments are handled in the cloud, which I think you answered, right? Because the cloud migration assistant or any other methods will obviously import the attachments for you without dealing with, yeah.
Yeah, it says, how are our attachments handled in the cloud? Meaning, can we map our own LAN volume? Well, if that sounds like to me, that sounds like a back-end question about whether or not they can use a different storage area.
Yeah,
and
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, because the back-end is not accessible in the Atlassian cloud.
Yeah.
So we have one more question. How can I manage a custom plugin to the cloud? And on the same, we have other question, that is, can I create a custom app or plugin on a cloud? So Himanshu, would you like to answer this?
Sure. So in terms of apps, when a lot of organizations migrate, let's say, especially to the Atlassian cloud, the first thing we recommend is look at the Atlassian marketplace to see if there is an off-the-shelf app with good support and good reviews that can cover your use case. Most likely that's the case, like 90 to 95% of the time. Any integration that you're looking for most likely already exists. And that's the ideal option, that you don't need to maintain custom code and spend the cost and effort to maintain it. But in the rare event where you don't find an integration that meets your needs from the Atlassian marketplace, you can use the Atlassian SDK. Now, you might already be doing that on the server or data center version, but if you're going to Atlassian Cloud uses a completely different framework called Atlassian Connect. And in Atlassian Cloud is more of similar to like writing a separate microservice that runs on a different infrastructure, and then it communicates with the Atlassian Cloud instances using REST API and other methods. So you can either use the Atlassian Connect framework to create that custom app running on your own infrastructure, and then that can be installed through the Atlassian Connect framework as a private add-on if that's a customization you're building internally. The other thing is that Atlassian Cloud also has the REST API integrations and webhooks. So for a lot of the use cases, you might just be able to even write this like separate microservice, or even like some other system that can fire off the API requests or webhooks to your Atlassian Cloud instance. So depending on your use case, you can either use Connect to write the custom app or use these other methods to build the integrations.
Yeah, thank you, Himanshu, for that. And we have one more question. How can I migrate without affecting my daily operations? And so basically this is that how to minimize the downtime. So yeah, do you have any take, Himanshu?
So I think we talked about our overall framework earlier, and we mentioned a few things, but just to summarize, we initially do that test environment migration with the customer where we time things, and we use that automated push button approach. So we also use different techniques like let's say for data center migration, you may have a huge volume of data, especially for attachments. But using our push button automated approach, anytime you are doing next round of migration or test migration, we just synchronize the difference rather than migrating the entire data all over again. So using techniques like those and a few other best practices, we aim to minimize the overall downtime that may be required when you're doing the migration. Also, in some instances, we also advise customers in terms of how you can have your existing environment in read-only mode if it's really critical, while the other data center or cloud environment comes up. So using all of those best practices that we've learned from our experience, we help our customers design a very robust downtime minimized migration. We've also done things like merging multiple Atlassian tool instances And for some of those types of merge, or you can say partial migration, where you're picking up individual spaces or projects, you may not have any downtime for the overall instance, because you can do it project by project without affecting the entire instance. So depending on the use case, I think we know a good number of ways to minimize the downtime.
So Himanshu, we are having another question on the same topic. Is there option in cloud that same plugin used in server can be used even though cloud not offer plugin? So basically, I guess they're not finding the same plugin on the cloud which they were using. So how to manage that?
So the development framework is definitely different between cloud and data center, like you mentioned. But depending on, and again, it really depends on the type of plugin and also the architecture that you follow. But what we've seen, what we've helped some of our customers do is build a common microservice that can do a lot of the core heavy lifting and handle most of the logic, whereas you just have this very lightweight, data center specific or cloud specific app. It's more of a hook to install, but all of the logic can be handled by this common microservice that could be processing these requests. And again, it may not be applicable to all kinds of custom apps, but for a good number of those, you might be able to generalize this. And also, I think if you get in touch with us, there are some development blogs published in the Atlassian developer blog, I think, and a few other places which we can share, where it shows examples of how some people have built this hybrid app that works both on data center and cloud.
So I think we have covered pretty much of all questions we have.
Swapnil, I can see another question about Atlassian Access and Active Directory integration.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can take that one. So yes, you need to have Atlassian Access for integrating your Active Directory. However, you need to have a MIT IDP provider to do that, to connect your Active Directory to Atlassian Access. And we do provide a free Okta account for this purpose if you don't already have an IDP provider for this. So yes, you can integrate your Atlassian directly, but you would need an IDP provider, and we offer Okta for free for your Atlassian products.
Okay, I guess, yeah, we have pretty much covered everything. Thank you all for joining the webinar. Thank you, Dipti. Thank you, Himanshu. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for your valuable time, and hope to see you all in our next webinar as well. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.